Hello again, everyone. Today is day 15 of the Diamine Inkvent calendar, and today's ink is Pick Me Up, which definitely appears to be a brown ink. I feel like we've had a lot of browns. I guess yesterday was not a brown, it was more of an amber, but this is also scented and sheening. So let's see. I'm guessing Pick Me Up. I'm guessing it's coffee scented, but we'll have to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and get in here into the swatch book. Let's go ahead and take the lid off my water here so I can rinse off my tools. So here is yesterday's Diamine Three Kings. Really pretty. I really like this one. I think this is gonna be one that I'll probably use more than probably any of these, just because it's a standard ink, it's a beautiful color. Let's see, what other, oh, and Ghost. I really like Ghost too. I think those two, as far as standard ink goes, have been my favorites. But let's go ahead and see what we have today. Trying to keep that down. My shadows in my office this morning are a little weird. So I put in a new light bulb in my office, which is much brighter than the old light bulb. And I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why there's all these new weird shadows. Okay, so let's take a sniff. Doesn't really smell like much of anything. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coffee. Yeah, it's kind of mild. Yeah, it's not super heavily scented, but I'm pretty sure that's coffee. Almost smells like a mocha. So it might be like coffee chocolate. Okay. That is definitely a brown ink, guys. That is super brown. Let's see how it dries. Because Dusted Truffle, this one from a few days ago, definitely went down very brown, but dried a little bit less brown. Or actually, no, that went down a little green and dried more brown. Sorry, I've forgotten already. All right, so I'm drying off that tool. Get out my Kakimori nib. Although so far I'm kind of liking this brown. It's nice. Let's see. Ooh, this one seems like, yeah. I'm guessing that the scented inks are just wet. So hold on, let me write, because I cannot write and talk. Pick Me Up. Because this is the second scented ink we've had that is clearly much wetter than the other inks. But yeah, I don't know what in a scented ink would make it wet. Maybe the scent is sort of a flow agent as well. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna cover that Kakimori nib, put the cover back on the ink. Oh, and I can definitely see some sheen developing. It's like sort of a green sheen, which would be kind of odd for coffee, but I'm gonna smell again. I think it's, oh, looks like I got a little bit of ink there. I think it's definitely like mocha, I think. Because it's not just coffee, it also has a little bit of a chocolatey smell. Not my favorite smell, I have to say. I do like coffee, but that definitely has a chocolate note in it. So you can see now, it's as usual here, it's another super dry day in Colorado, so it is definitely drying fast. Yeah, I like the color. I'm not sure how I feel about scented inks generally. I do have a couple of scented inks. I have one that one from Mont Blanc that was like a, what is it, bourbon flavor? Bourbon flavor. I did not taste it. A bourbon scented ink, and I wasn't that crazy about it. Not so much for the scent, but for the color. But the scent kind of fades pretty fast, so it's not really, it wasn't really much of a thing. And let's see, so our previous scented ink was Spruce, and you can see compared to the others, it went down really wet. And let me smell that. Yeah, I pretty much cannot smell any more scent coming off of that ink now. So it is pretty short-lived, which I actually appreciate, because I don't like it when smells linger for a long time, especially if I'm not that crazy about the smells. And sometimes I'm kind of sensitive to smells. I am prone to migraines, so sometimes smells will trigger that. These didn't seem like they would do that, mostly because they're not strong enough, but also they're not the kind of scent that would do that. Yeah, so I think this is a little stronger on the scent than Spruce was, or maybe it's just, you know, I'm forgetting how long that stayed smelly. Smelly in not a bad way, but you know what I mean. All right, I do think this is a pretty ink as far as color goes. It's kind of an odd one. I don't know that I've ever seen a brown ink with a green sheen. And the writing, yeah, the writing is still picking up the sheen. I don't know if you can see that. You might not. It never captures well in the writing. But yeah, I can still see the sheen, and I think this is slightly less wet than the Spruce, but not much. You can see here in my cross hatching, it's a little bit finer here than it was with Spruce, which just kind of like flew off the dip pen there. So at this point, I'm gonna say that scented inks are wetter. That's just gonna be my observation. At least the Diamine scented inks. I've never had a Diamine scented ink before. I think, I may be wrong, but I thought they released some scented inks not too long ago, like well, maybe a few years ago. But if anybody knows about that, let me know in the comments down below, because I vaguely remember that. I never got any of them, but I do remember hearing about that at some point. But because I don't know if scented inks are a new thing for Diamine. I'm thinking it's not. But okay, I'm going to smell it one more time. It's definitely starting to fade, but I can still smell it. But there you go, Diamine Pick Me Up. And like I said, I think it's like a mocha smell. I think, because it does smell a little like chocolate, and it does smell a little like coffee. I know everyone thinks I'm crazy. I'm not the biggest chocolate fan. I've actually warmed up to chocolate a lot more in the last few years. Growing up, I hated chocolate, which is weird. But now I'm okay with it, but I'm pretty selective with which ones I like. But this smell doesn't really do it for me, just because of that additional chocolate smell on top of the coffee. If you like the chocolate smell, you'll probably really like it. I wish it was more just pure coffee, because I do like the smell of coffee, even though I cannot drink it because it totally wigs me out. I had to quit drinking coffee many years ago. I only fairly recently started drinking tea, caffeinated tea every morning, and that's probably even a stretch. I probably should not be doing that, but I'm kind of used to drinking tea instead of coffee, and it doesn't jack me up as much as coffee did. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think about this one, because this one I think could be polarizing. But it's clearly very different from Three Kings the other day, and pretty different from Yule Log. I mean, if you can see them here, Diamine Pick Me Up is much darker and clearly sheening instead of sparkle or shimmer. But let me know what you think. I think I like it. If it didn't have the scent, I'd probably like it more, partially because it makes it so wet, and partially because I'm not sure I'd want to smell that smell. But it's not bad. I mean, it's not a bad smell. It just is not my cup of tea, so to speak. All right, so that really is it. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. And what I forgot to say over the last few days is I'll put a link down below to day 1's video if you want to check out the setup that I have here. But that's going to be a constant on every video that I'll link back to that. All right, take care.